Hi, my name is Gavin and I am the training manager here at Navien UK, and I'm here today at a local training centre showing you how to install one of our Navien NCB 500 41 kilowatt on technology boilers. I'll be fixing it to this wall here, and you've got to make sure that the wall that you're securing it to is of good foundation, good strong wall that will be able to support the weight of the products. So I'm here now, about to fit the wall bracket, which is an individual single hook type bracket, which will be placed on the wall here. I've chosen 3 points of connection on this particular one, but the more the better, obviously. I've also taken into consideration my spacing around the product. So we need to maintain around 250 millimeters for the top, from the top of the boiler. We allow 5 millimeters down the sides of the boiler, just for a good clearance. And on the bottom, we're looking for around 200 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is just place this first screw in the bracket here. So now all the screws are in there, nice and secure in this wall. And you can see also we're nice and level, ready to go. What you'll see is the hooks, when I bring the boiler up, will be latching on to these 2 hooks, left and right. And they'll be going on the back bracket of the boiler. So now we've got the NCB 500 mounted to the wall. It's nice and secure, nice and level. We've allowed for all our clearances. My next steps are to go through installation of the flue and the elbow. On this one, we are fitting a fixed length horizontal. Then we'll be going through the pipe work installation, which all of our boilers come with a supplied kit in the box and instructions just detailing what bits and pieces are within that box. So let's move on to the flue. So we're just moving on to the top of the flue terminal here. As you can see, the flue has already been installed prior to us at this training centre, and it's just an example of, you know, the push type of fitting that you're here with us today. And what comes in the box is also this collar, which you need to just place on loosely. It's got a bit of flexibility that locks that flue elbow to that cover there. So the first things I would always do is make sure to centre my flue, and making sure that the top of the flue terminal is at the correct location, and you want to make sure that the flue is in a full position, so that tip is slightly higher than the rest. So in its flue and its actual orientation is nice and level, but if you extend past a metre, that's when we would increase the fall within the flue to allow for the condensation to run back to the boiler. But that's only in extreme circumstances and for increasing of length greater than 1 metre. So in this scenario, I'm going to mark up there. Then we've got the meter here, just making a good solid pen mark on there. And I'm going to get this piece here. It just helps just to guide that onto the bottom of that piece there. And then we're going to push that onto that piece there, twisting it round, and then allocating and lining that up to the top of the boiler case, and then pressing that down into the flue turret, making sure that the seal in the top, you'll see it when it's over the top, that you're pressing down into there, pushing it down into here. And then what we'll do is we'll use a clamping screw and 4 supporting screws to that top section there, and that will then create a nice rigid connection for that. With the flue itself, we advise that you do not screw our flues unless it is a telescopic one, and that is only required to be screwed when that telescopic has been set to its length, and you screw that and tape. But any other scenario, these are a non-screwed flue. So that's now all secured there. What I'd always advise as well, to go outside and just make sure you've got that nice and positive back. If you've got someone supporting you, it's always good to have someone to just hold on to that end terminal to make sure that that fit in there is nice and secure back into there. But just remember, no screws to secure that. Okay, so now we are going to go through the lower hydraulics pipework connections on this Navien NCB 500, and I'm going to go through each individual component point and show you the importance of the connection and the way I'm connecting it through. So what I'll start with first, but you'll see here that everything's all been plumbed in, and we just got to make those connections. I'm just going to bring your attention to the heating return and the cold water inlet valve. In the box comes our Navien quick fill, which is this unit here, and you can see that we've got the nut, washer and all the bits and pieces built on this side, and they come as separate items. So you'll get part of a socket, a nut, a little O-ring and a clip to lock it all together. So what you need to do is you need to build them up. So you'll put the nut over that socket, then the O-ring will go over the male end of that piece there, and then you'll see the female socket side here. Always a bit of lubricant, doesn't ever hurt to help guide that in. Then what you do is just give that a nice secure press into position, and then you get your little split pin, place it through the slots in the side, and that clicks in nice and secure, and you've now got a nice secure fitting for the Navien fill link. Why we would always fit this first before fitting these two particular pipes is because it's very important to keep this square. It's square in its nature, so if any of those fittings were out of line, that's going to make your life a little bit more difficult later on. So at this time, what you're going to do is you bring that to this point here. You've got your fibre washer inserted, wind that on that side, and then you wind this one on the cold side. Just guide that thread on. There you go, just get that to catch, get them to align up. So I've just given them a little finger tight, make sure the connection's there. Then I'm going to bring that return pipe nut up there. The fibre washer's already there, ready to go. We're just going to bring that up together. And as you'll notice on our boiler, you've got a lot of clearance around the pipes and fittings to allow for that ease of access to get your adjustables into, to make those adjustments and get those fittings nice and tight. So we've got all those to that position. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and just give that from that side there a little nip up here. You can see there the isolation valve's closed, just to gain me that little bit more clearance there, and that just nips up. Then go over to my water one, so that's my cold water main. Just got a nice clearance there, give that a nip up, and that's tighten them all up there. Just make sure that these pipes are all tight. That one's a little bit loose still, so just give that a nip up. And then we're going to just go to the Navien fill. Remembering these are just fibre washers, so they don't need to go too tight, just a nice tight. You can see I'm only using the short handled adjustables there. Okay, so that's your Navien fill link with quick fill in, all linked to the return, ready for filling. So I'm just going to go over to now to the PRV. What you'll see here is there's an adapter here, brass adapter here, to allow for the compression coupling. That's not an item that's currently supplied with our boiler, so just to bear in mind that you'll need to pick that up when you're buying the boiler. Pop that in to there, and then make that up there. A lot of different installers have different methods of connecting the PRV. This is coming out here on this example. This was done by one of the college students a couple of weeks back. This is put through into the wall here. You can also combine into waste pipe or fittings, but obviously any PRV is always better to have it outside. So we've got that nicely connected there. Again, on an olive, so just nipping up there, using your jointing pastes and bits and pieces as you go. So the next thing we're going to go to, moving along the way, is the gas. So an important connection. I have got fibre washer there. Going to just slide that in through, make sure that's nicely lined up, and bring that together. There we go, just catching on there. Bearing in mind that this is a slit-edged connection, so make sure you use the correct connection that's supplied with the boiler for this gas connection and the correct fibre washer. Just giving a light nip for this one. And then the same again under here. Just bring them up together. So we're not putting too much force on either point of the fitting. So just bring them up. There we go. Obviously, once the gas supply is all connected, always make sure to do your gas safety checks as you would do, checking all the components and all the parts are nice and safe throughout the installation and throughout the installation pipework as a normal general rule. I'm now going to go to the hot outlet. It's tucked in behind the gas pipe here, but again, 15mm elbow fitting. This one doesn't have any isolations at all. So again, fibre washer in, straight up onto there. And tighten. Then last fitting now is with the pressure gauge. So here you'll see pressure gauge, which is a nice mechanical gauge point. So the customer has now got 2 points of reference. So you'll have a digital one on the display and a mechanical one here, which really helps to make sure that they get that correct pressure of about 1 to 1.5 bar when cold. There we go, that's all tightened up and ready to go. So now what we're going to do is run you through how to connect the power and your controller type. Today we're going to run through the Smart Plus, but I'll also talk through all the other connections that you can make as well. So first things first is these are the points where you can connect the cables through. You've got the type here and then up and through this section here. And then you can bring the cables up around to this connection point here. So I'm just going to take this screw out here, which then opens you up into where our power supply is connected to and where our controls are connected to. You can see here we've got a good solid connection point here with the fuse carrier, and then we've also just given those blocks a little kick there to allow you as the installer ease of access to get your control wires in. Okay, so from left to right, we've got a neutral connection point here. Then in the center, we have the earth, and then you have your 240 volt live connection there, which would then enter in through that section there. Then the control section. So this is where you can choose what type of control you're fitting. So on the left-hand side here, as we move along, we've got the live power out. So that can go out to a supplied RF controller or different type of controller to power your switch live. Or you can bring back your dedicated switch to this second one in, which is denoted by the yellow on there. We also have stickers on the boilers that will show you where to connect onto as well. Next one along from there is an outdoor temperature sensor. So if you decide to not use our Navien Smart Plus, but you still want outdoor temperature sensor connected, you can go ahead and connect in your outdoor temperature sensor there. We don't supply that as part of our kit, but you can get them quite readily. So then I'll bring you on to the last two connections, which you can see there, 2 red cables. They are for low voltage, and they are also for open therm technology to be connected. Just make sure that you are using low voltage or no voltage connections at that point. Okay, so that's all your connection points there behind there. Let's go ahead and run the cable into that block there for you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just guide the 240 volt power cable through this gland here and make sure we've slid down the water weather protection gasket there and the nut onto this. In this example, we've got a plug socket on here, but obviously you'd be fixing that to a fixed supply fuse spur. And we're just going to pull these cables up, just guide them through there, up, and just to secure it in place, give ourselves a little bit of length to play with, and then just nip that up. Okay. So we can now go ahead and connect up each cable. So I'm going to go with the neutral on the left first, just bringing that up inside there. earth, cable up and in. And last one is just bringing your live connection in to the one with the fuse holder in. And there you go, nice and secure in there. You can just tuck that up out the way and bring that there. So the next step will be to bring our Navien Smart Plus connector. So this lead here doesn't always come connected on the boiler, it will come in a special pack in the case, so keep an eye out for that. You'll then connect that into the side of the display screen and you've got your plug there. You can then choose to bring that plug up through and then connecting on there. And there we go, that's all connected up. You've now got your Smart Plus and your 240 volt connections all made up and ready to go. So now you've completed the installation of your boiler, it's the best options now to complete your gas safe inspections as you would do for any appliance, but also making sure to complete our manufacturer's benchmark and then registering our boilers through our warranty app. I hope that was all nice and clear for you. Thank you very much.